guys, today I'm going to be taking you all over Switzerland. We made Zurich our home base, but we took a bunch of different day trips during our visit, so let's just dive right in. By the time we got to Zurich, checked into our hotel, and freshened up, it was lunchtime and we were starving. We found a ramen shop nearby, so we decided to check that out, and since it was a little bit chilly and rainy, it really hit the spot. Made it to Zurich, had to get some lunch, and we're feeling alive. We got to push through the jet lag. Had ramen, it was so good, and now we're going to do a little sightseeing.
Awesome.
We found a really cool cocktail bar called the Witter Bar, and the vibes were 10 out of 10, so good. And it turns out that the Witter restaurant above the bar has 2 Michelin stars, so it was definitely on the pricier side, but honestly, everything in Switzerland is on the pricier side, so I would still absolutely recommend checking this place out. We started our first full day in Switzerland with a day trip to Lucerne. So we grabbed some coffee and breakfast to go and then headed to the train station. And if you visit Switzerland, the rail pass is a must. You don't need to book your train tickets in advance or anything, and it just makes getting around super easy. Took the train from Zurich to Lucerne today. We're gonna walk around the town, take a ferry, climb a mountain.
And eat some burgers with pretzel buns.
The most important part of the day. Dig into this pretzel sandwich.
How am I even gonna get this first bite?
Just gotta dive in.
I'm just going for it.
So this morning it was really foggy, but our patience has paid off. We just came out of lunch. That's crazy. When we walked outside after lunch to see that the fog was gone, it was amazing. Like, we didn't even realize we were surrounded by the Alps. And it was perfect timing too, because we were about to visit Mount Rigi. On the ferry to Vitz now. Gonna go up a really high mountain. The fog has cleared, so we're gonna see a really good view, I hope.
I can already see mountains.
It's beautiful. Mount Rigi is a must if you're in Lucerne. I've shared everything you need to know for visiting on my blog, and trust me, it's so worth it because the views are mind-blowing. For day 3, we were off to Lugano for another day trip. Lugano sits on the border of Switzerland and Italy, and its most notable attraction is Lake Lugano. We arrived just before noon, where we took in the sights of Old Town before grabbing lunch at a cute Italian restaurant by the lake. We took the funicular up to Monte Bray, and even though it was a bit hazy during our visit, the views at the top were beautiful. Eventually, we made our way back down to Old Town, where we grabbed some gelato before hopping on a train back to Zurich.
What'd you get?
Stracciatella, my favorite. Perfect ending to our day in Lugano. I'm not sure how I found Colmar, but as soon as I saw a photo of it, I knew we had to go there. It reminded me of the town from Beauty and the Beast. Anyway, we walked around Little Venice and took a boat tour through the canals, and the city is just so colorful and photogenic. We might hit our heads if we move. We actually struggled to find a place for lunch because all of the ones I researched were completely packed, but we ended up stumbling on the perfect place and had one of the best lunches of our trip. We tried tarte flambée, which I may be pronouncing completely wrong, but it's kind of like a flatbread, and it's one of the specialties in this region, and it was so good. For the last day of our trip, we stayed in Zurich and explored the city a little more. In the afternoon, we hopped on a train to visit Uetliburg Mountain, which is a great half-day activity, and the views are actually so good. You could see the city, the lake, the countryside, and even the snowy Alps, and it was just beautiful. And that's a wrap on our trip to Switzerland. I've got even more travel tips on my blog, and if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see where we go next.
Zachary Dacry Dock. Now that is a big old clock.